Alright, it says I'm live. Alright. There's always figuring out YouTube's interface to just get the link to the stream. It's to turn this monitor off. Alright, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, so this is going to be me implementing bash completion for a command line tool I have called CppDock, which is basically setting up dependency management for C++ projects that it runs inside a Docker environment. In fact, I should have that open. Yeah, so this. And then here, let's make that nice and big. I should have had this ready, but I had other technical difficulties that prevented that. So setting up my tiling windows. I'm just gonna make this there so I don't block. So I don't block everything. Because I noticed that from my last feed is my head was blocking the console output. Alright, hopefully that's big enough. So bash completion is something I know nothing about. I did some research, and I have some tabs open with some resources that I can use to help me, and a picture of a cat photo to help me figure out how to do this. So right now what I have is CppDock is a Python script that looks very different right now. There we go. Huh. Anyway, I'm just going to close these. All right. So the way this is just a Python script that's command line. So I have these like parse underscore functions, parse args command. You can see here is a list of arguments that it takes for each sub command. So there's and I guess I should have an example open. Let's do this. So I can run CppDock build, and then there's the name of a target, which is called develop, and I want to call it something else. So it's specified here in this JSON file. So there's CppDock for project or project level configuration, and then there's different platforms. And here there's one called Web Develop, and I want to call it Web App. So the platform is like a target for a specific platform. And it has a type of emscripten, which means it looks for recipes with the emscripten suffix. Because it's going to compile it from C++ to WebAssembly and JavaScript for use in a web browser. So the way it's used, so now that the platform's name is Web App, so here's a list of the commands: CppDock build web app, and there happens to be a web app directory, so auto-completion works for that, but it has a slash at the end, so that might be confusing. So if I do CppDock build web app, it's going to build a Docker image with all the dependencies for building this web app. And apparently, I cleared a bunch of things. I guess I did some pruning earlier because I was running out of memory. So there we have an image with all our stuff. In fact, I'm going to clear everything out, just because there's some proprietary stuff there. Let's see. Docker images. Oh wait. Just removing all the Docker images. Probably say it can't do some of them. That's a lot. Yeah. Must be forced, cannot be forced. Sometimes if I just run it again. By a running container. Oh yeah, that's the registry. Yeah, we want to keep that one. Yeah, so CppDock right now is using Docker Swarm, which a swarm requires a registry, which I'm running as a container, which is kind of convenient. Alright, so back to... Well, let's build our image again. CppDock build web app. It would be nice to just hit tab so I didn't have to type out build or web app or even necessarily know what the targets are, which is the goal. And just as a disclaimer, I have no idea. I've never used bash completion before. I've never written a script for that, so we're going to be winging it here. So this isn't necessarily a tutorial, but learning by watching somebody else figure things out as they go. And if anybody's watching, throw a chat out there. Let me know if the audio levels are good, because I turned my monitor off because I hate the sound of my own voice. And it echoes because of the delay. Alright. So I specify the commands here. I should probably specify them as a global variable and have the Python script print them out. But just to go over bash completion real fast, there's actually, and I had no idea, there's actually a command line program or bash script called complete. And there's also one called compgen. And complete is actually used for adding completions for specific scripts. So I guess the final argument is the name of a script. Here. I don't know if that's readable in the video feed. So yeah, complete, and then some options. You can pass it a bash function, or just a list of words as a string, and then you specify the name of the script that it applies to. And if you just run the command itself, it gives you a list of all of them, and there's a lot. So we could take a look at the ones for Docker. Oops. Yeah, so there is a bash function in the environment called _docker, and that's what dockerd.exe calls. And that's the same for just dockerd. I didn't know there was a .exe. Then there's also Docker machine, which has the same setup for itself. It has a Docker machine, _Docker machine bash function. And I'm just curious. I want to see if there's any that use a word list. Yeah. You did a backslash. So I'm not very good at bash either, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, there's no word lists. So I'm just gonna make a dummy real fast. All right. Dummy. No, foo. Let's make sure we don't already have foo. Dummy. So, what is it? Hash bang. Bang hash? Bin bash. Oh, I messed that up. It's a comment. Hash bang. That sounds correct. And I can't run it because I have to chmod executable. Alright. So there's a tutorial here. That has a very simple example. Creating the executable script. I thought there was something simpler than that. So complete, I know that complete is used for adding things to a specific command, but there's also, the way that it works is it doesn't give you like partial completions. If you do tab after you've typed a couple of characters, it'll still give you the autocomplete for everything. So they have this other command called CppDock. And it's a utility that's to be used in the bash script, the bash completion script that you create. So just to do an example, if it has some of the same options. So like a word list. So let's give it a foo, bar, and baz. And then immediately after that, you start typing in it, and that is not correct. Well, apparently I totally misunderstood that. CppDock. Yeah, so this is what I was reading. It says enter CppDock, a built-in command that generates completion supporting most of the options of the complete command. Example, the word list. It appears I did that according to this example. And it filters them based on what already has been typed by the user. Don't worry, if you feel confused, everything will become clear later on. Alright, so... Right, so it types stuff out. And then, you give it a little bit of something and you actually run the command. So it doesn't have its own completion. Just something I misunderstood. But that makes sense for its use as a utility within a bash script. So if I give it B, it'll give me bar, BA, still bar and baz. And then baz is just baz. Which is kind of surprising. Because it's already complete. With a baz space. Still. Baz Q. Alright. Okay, so that's how that works. And I guess it returns an array. or just a list. Let's try running it like that. Right, it's just a string, I guess. Nope, it's a string. Oh wait. Does that work? Nope. Yeah, my bash is not very good. As you may... Yeah. So it's a string, and not an array. Which is interesting. Alright. Yeah, so this is going to be painful, I have a feeling. So to start out, I'm just going to make a manual script. I'm going to call it CppDock completion.sh. And it's hash bang bin bash. And we're just going to make it do the auto completion and the sub commands. Just to start out simple. It should just be, really it's just a list of words. Yeah, I'll try that. Oh. That must be tabs. Nope. Just get over there. Apparently I don't know how to use Vim either. Maybe I wasn't hitting 10. Alright, I'm just having trouble using the keyboard. We change those out. Subcommands. Man, indenting today is not working out. So I guess that's how you do that. Do you use a semicolon at the end? Usually I do bash by example. I am not very good at bash. I don't claim to be. I mean, I know command line stuff, but I don't typically do bash scripting. Oh, wow. That is annoying. Ugh. Wow, I have to test out. So it's... Oh yeah, that's why we need another. Ah. I expect the completion to work. Alright, so... CppDock complete.sh. Permission denied. A plus X. Maybe it's the way I'm sitting with my keyboard, it just feels weird. Alright. Subcommand, or command not found. So it's trying to run everything as a command. Because... Alright, so as in the example, I should probably make this a function. Oh, that's how you make a function in Bash. And I have a feeling the user bin env bash is how you're supposed to do it, but I'm not worried about that right now. Underscore CppDock complete. All right. So I made an array. I don't even know if that's all that useful. Let's just make it one string. All right. All right. Subcommands. That's just a string, space delimited list of the subcommands. So I should run that. Complete. Oh man. I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just gonna run the function here to test it out. Unexpected end of file. Alright, so when you execute a function in Bash, I'm not really sure why it's doing that. Bash call function. Oh, you don't give it parens. Oh, because it's expecting, if that's how it does function declarations. I think that makes sense. Command not found. Huh. CppDock complete. Very surprised here. CppDock complete. So it thinks it's a command and it's not found. So I'm still not calling a function properly. Call function. Please, the simplest of things. How do you call a function in Bash? Oh, declaring. Here's the multi-line version and the single-line version. There's another way to declare it. Return values. Parsing arguments. Still no way to call a function. How to call a function. This is stuff I get frustrated with. Just the simplest things. It's like, there's no, that's why I don't know Bash, is because the documentation is horrible. Like, I'm curious. How to call a function in C++. Well, I guess there's c++.com. Functions. Yeah, still. Not the easiest thing in the world. Maybe I'm just not Googling it right. Function E, hello world. Maybe if I gave it a space. Command not found. Subcommands. Oh! Wow, I was reading the error message wrong. Alright. So I was doing it correctly. Yeah. Maybe that's a rule of thumb, is that when you Google something and you don't get any sane answer, it's because there's something else that's totally wrong. Alright, so that just prints stuff out. A string. Oh, yeah, echo subcommands. Yeah, so bash assignment of variables is white space sensitive. Alright, so where were we going with this? We don't need that. Don't need that. That's a little... I don't know, just as a tangent. Call... How to call a function in JavaScript. Yep, that's the call function itself. Function invocation. There we go. That's probably what sets JavaScript apart. So particularly for beginners. It is a pretty simple language, at least to get started. The event handling stuff, a lot of people struggle with that. Alright, back to the bash completions. So, if you're doing a function, there's an environment variable that you can assign to for the possible completions. So, when you do the complete function, yeah, comp reply. Yeah, comp reply. So that function comp reply, or not function, but it's not an environment, it's just a variable that you set. It's kind of like having a return value. And it's an array, and they just append to it the possible completions. So in our case, so we want to assign comp reply to that from an array. So we have to convert our string into an array, and I did that yesterday. There's no underscore. Comp reply subcommands. How do you convert? Let's just look it up. Bash convert string to array. You just wrap it in parens. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. I've done it this way. That's the way I did it yesterday, I think. Oh. Anyways, so now that I'm actually assigning it to that, let's try complete for function CppDock complete. So if we were to run CppDock and do tab, it does not work. Oh. Why did that even work? I have to specify CppDock at the end. Alright, hopefully I didn't mess that stuff up. Alright, oh, I need to that's weird. So one of them has the function in it, One of them just has the name of the script. Neither of them are correct. It doesn't look like... Did I do the F option correct? Is that the right case? No, it's capital F. That's probably why. So how do you remove these things? I wanted to see if there was an R option. Nobody ever removes these things, right? Help. Remove a completion specification for each name. CppDock R complete R CppDock. Let's see if that works. I'm having trouble typing this morning. Probably because the microphone's in my face, I guess. I don't know. It's not blocking my view of the keyboard. Alright. That's gone, so now we can do this correctly now. F. Capital F, CppDock, the name of the function complete, the name of the script, or the command line. Alright. CppDock, tab doc, CppDock complete not found. Wow. Alright, so this is my misunderstanding with bash here for some reason. I would almost expect that you could export the command. Alright, so at least it's calling, or it's trying to call a function, so the command line setup for it is correct. But it doesn't know the function. So what am I doing different? The only thing I see that's different... Oh, so they call this complete function inside the script, so the scope of this is limited to the script, which makes sense. So I need to add the complete to the script itself. So complete F, capital F, CppDock complete. Complete usage. F up. Yeah, at least we got an error that time. It's because it was a capital F. Alright, CppDock tab. Still not found. Complete grep CppDock. There's only one rule. Alright, so the only difference I can see now is that I'm not using user bin env bash. I don't think that should make a difference. User bin env. But I could just be monumentally naive about that. Alright, CppDock. Still doesn't work. Alright, well at least we know that's not what the difference is. I wonder if it's because I set the function first. Let's just try removing it real fast. Alright. Now run the script again. Tab, and it doesn't work at all now. Wow. Why not? F minimal. What on earth is that? Where did minimal come from? I hope somebody eventually watches this and just finds this amusing. Because I don't think that this would be a good way to learn how to use bash completion or bash. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. Complete F CppDock minimal bash minimal. No idea what that means. Complete CppDock. Complete CppDock. I don't know why. You know, the beginning of this, I'm just gonna have it clean it. Now that might be some problems. So we're just gonna comment that out because it's apparently too advanced for a first minimal example. Let's just try using a list of words. Alright, we're just gonna remove it. So we have no rules for CppDock. We're gonna run our script. And then maybe and it still doesn't work. Minimal. Where? F. Is it not looking at the same script that I am? And where did minimal come from? I still don't. Echo. Insanity check. Insanity check. Complete. CppDock completion. So it does the sanity check. And it still doesn't have. Is it R? For uppercase R. For removing. Remove a completion specification. I don't know. It appears to work. Complete R CppDock. And then I look at it. There's nothing there. And then we're going to run the completion script. It prints that sanity check. And yet there's still nothing there. That's CppGen. What is the... the W option for complete? So they add it, complete. W, a list of names or words. And then the name of the script. And then they call source, blah blah. Maybe it's because I'm not sourcing the file. I vaguely recall that. Let's just try that. Source. CppDock complete. Sanity check. It doesn't really explain why I came up with that other stuff before. Alright, so source. I'm supposed to source the script and not just execute it. I think I've ran into that before. And why bash source. So I remember reading about this before, but I don't remember what the difference was. I think it... Source is a bash shell built-in command that executes the content of the file passed as argument in the current shell. So if you don't use source, it runs it in a subshell, which is why I think I was getting... I'm not sure where the minimal thing was coming from. But that was the problem. Alright, so just to see if this works now. Alright, so now we have a list of commands using the word argument for complete. So just a static list of words. So we can get rid of our sanity check, I think, and go back to using the function, which we just add. We're creating an array of comp reply, which is supposed to be the output for completion. So let's try that. I'm just going to remove. Okay. So source. Excuse me. Sorry. Source. CppDock complete script .sh. So now that we run CppDock, we get the same thing. I'm tempted to modify this. So modifying the script does not help. You have to resource it, I guess, which makes sense. Keep trying to type complete first. Maybe I should do that. Change the word to be complete first. Alright, so CppDock. So notice I typed F and it still shows everything. And that's supposedly, I guess that's the way complete works. Or it's not the way complete works, it's the way that complete just looks at comp reply blindly. So let's make it use the compgen. The compgen feature, and just to look at... I think I remember how to do it, but... So here's how this guy does it. He just runs compgen, and he gives it a list of words, and it returns what I guess is a string list of the word list, so... So we're going to do that here. So, compgen w, because we're going to give it subcommands. I guess we do it like that. Subcommands. And then a part of me wants to say we give it the rest of the arguments. I don't know, is that how you do that? Oh, here he does it right here. So he uses comp words, which is apparently just some magic variable that is supplied by the complete script. So comp words 1. I'm guessing comp words 0 would be the first part of the command line, which is just the name CppDock. Comp words. So that would be the second argument in the command line script. Which is useful to know for if we're going to add additional things to the command line. Subcommands. And it needs to be an array, so we wrap it in parens. Right? That's yeah, like that. Alright, source. CppDock tab. Whoops. I wonder, the problem here is like, what is the usage that I did? It needs to be wrapped in quotes. Apparently. Source. CppDock. I'm just gonna type that in. CppDock. Tab. Maybe subcommands is supposed to be in quotes too? I kind of want it to be a variable. Now it's not doing anything. So this is where, once again, my misunderstanding of bash is clogging up the whole thing. Fortunately, CppDock, when you try to autocomplete the name itself, collides with several other CPP utilities. Which I believe that's the compiler. Still not working. So I think the only difference here... Ow. Yep. CppDock. Tab. Nothing. Still nothing. How to refer to a bash string? Refer to bash string. This is just super basic bash stuff that I've never nailed down. Probably because I never took the time to understand why you do certain things. So I specify a variable, a $sign, and the variable name. It's supposed to be in quotes. Still not working. Let's try this. I want to comment that out. I'm just going to try the raw string just for sanity purposes. Source. Alright, that works. So I just have to refer to the variable somehow. It doesn't have to be a variable, but I would think for moving forward with something more dynamic, it would be nice. to specify things in one spot, but I think that one spot would be the Python script, so maybe the Python script should just have a, like some implementation detail command, like underscore list commands, and then underscore list targets. For when the platform or the target or whatever it's called is a part of the completion for a given sub command. It's still just kind of frustrating that I can't refer to a variable It's just a simple thing. That would execute subcommands, wouldn't it? That would just be the word subcommands. Sorry if I'm getting hung up on stuff. This is kind of how I roll. It's like there's something I don't understand. I don't really like moving forward until I do. It looks like they just right here. It's just $sign and the name, and that would be the problem right there. So the name is different. If anybody's watching in chat and they see something like that, feel free to point it out. Still not working though. I'm gonna have to get some more water here in a sec. Subcommands. You know, I'm just gonna echo subcommands. Subcommands. Just as a sanity check. Was subcommands ever working? It was. Because I was doing compgen. No, I wasn't. No, I was using... What was I doing? Alright, so subcommands is nothing. Why is that? Local. Echo. Sanity. No! Oh, well, I guess... Why would that not be an... Oh yeah, it's because it's not actually running it. CppDock. Tab. Alright, so... I wonder how you do some kind of continuous integration for this. Like, how would you test completion? I mean, I guess you got to write a test that it actually gives you the proper thing to complete, but not the completion itself. Just kind of a limitation of testing sometimes is you want to test like a device or something. Tab. Ah, so it prints sanity out. That was weird. And it just echoes subcommands, which is now a string. But it does not do any kind of completion for it. So subcommands is valid, but it's not a valid argument to the W option. It's annoying that I have to cancel that. Like when it finishes the function, why doesn't it just stop? It doesn't seem to matter. I don't know. What do you use the braces for? When to use braces? Bash variable when to enclose braces. I just gotta know this. Makes no difference, however, the are useful if you want to expand the variable foo in the string. Well, we kind of want to do that. We want it to be a string. Oh, and it works. I thought I already tried that. Does it make a difference that it's local or not? No. I would expect that it would be local anyways. I mean, if it wasn't... Maybe I should make it local. Subcommands. I ran that. Oh yeah. I've been playing a lot of StarCraft and Minecraft in the evenings. My hands are... Typing is easy. Playing games is... Especially Minecraft. The delay on the video. I can see the video and it's very delayed. Not like 60 seconds like it was last time. I should try ultra low latency next time, but nobody's chatting anyway, so it doesn't matter. Come on, people, post something in chat. I see there's 2 viewers. Maybe they just have it on in the background. And they're not even listening. Which is fine, I guess. Alright, so... It's been an hour. It's been almost an hour, and... Right now, so far, all we have is... a static list of the subcommands. Does it work? It works. Kind of. So it does partial stuff now. If I type F, it'll only complete foo. Since that's the only completion, it doesn't give me a list. It just completes it. But the problem is if I hit tab again, it's once again foo, and I don't understand why it thinks it has to be foo again and not anything else. But if I do everything, let's see, dev cluster, and then after that it just completes the same thing over and over and over again. I'm gonna take a quick break. So I just need to get some more water. I'm gonna put you on this fancy little scene that tells you to wait. And we're back. We're going to be hitting it again on the bash completion. I don't think that in this session that it'll be complete, but I would like to get a subcommand to work, or at least print out a platform or a target after given a subcommand that is expecting that as the next argument. So flipping over to the Linux box. If anybody's curious, I'm using the KVM switch that goes to the capture card, or it's not a card, but the capture device. So I can have 4 different devices that I can switch to on my KVM switch. So for instance, this is my Mac. And there's another port open, which I don't really have anything hooked up to. I was thinking about doing the Super Nintendo Classic on there. Alright, so before the break, finally got a list of words, and which is it's the list of subcommands. I currently specify them here in this bash script, but for anybody who's experienced in programming, it's nice to have a single place to specify things, so that when you make a change, like for, oops, in this case I added, what is going on? Oh yeah, so when I use the KVM switch, and I wasn't like this with the KVM switch, the DVI KVM switch I had before this was fine, but now with this HDMI KVM, it makes my keyboard forget that my keyboard mappings, so my caps lock is remapped to escape, but it doesn't get run until I open a terminal. So I need to figure out how to get it to run when the keyboard is plugged in, which would be very convenient. Because sometimes the caps lock gets stuck in the on position and I have to switch back to another device and come back again and turn the caps lock off and then open a terminal so that it locks caps lock as the escape key with the caps lock in the off position. You'd think Linux would make that a little easier to figure out, but X Windows and X11 and that stuff is pretty ancient, not easy to configure at all. Alright, so like I said, I wanted to be able to put the list of commands in a single location, and it makes the most sense to have it in the Python script itself. So what I want to do is I want to have subcommands here. And I gotta keep in mind that indentation in Python matters, but I don't think it matters here. Whoop. So we can do that. Put a little semicolon there, right? Now, Python's great. I don't really understand why they allow trailing commas, at least. I'm not a Python expert either. And that doesn't need to be there. So let's just try. Let's try using that. Subcommands. Do we need to wrap that in curly braces? Switching back and forth between languages isn't that hard, but bash, it's just an exception. I wonder why I have this. Oh, I had it lined up with this equals stuff below. There's really no purpose to that. Now, anyways. Yeah, I need to get one of those little foamy things for the mic because you probably hear me breathing a lot. And I have a pop filter. I have a pop filter, but it's very large. It's like this, and it would be right in my face. It came with the little microphone stand that I got. Alright, so I'm just gonna try running that to see that. Alright, so sudo make install. CppDock dev. Alright, so the next argument it expects is the platform. Alright, so I'm going to add a command. I've been calling it platform. I should probably call it target. But I need to add a command to list subcommands and also list targets. And I'm just gonna look for the word target in here to make sure I'm not using it for something else that might make it confusing. Name of target platform. Target platform, target platform. Target. So typically, yeah, I was using the word target for the output files. So like when you compile something, you have the source, which is the source files, and the target is what it outputs to some directory like executables or whatever. Run dev service target. Well, I call it target there. Oh, that's the CMake target. Let's just call it list platforms. Target platforms. Yeah, just list platforms. So when I get around to making that, that's going to list all the platforms listed in the JSON file. So I'm just going to cut and paste parse args in it. Just put it down here at the bottom. Init dev service. Alright, so list parse args. And there's really no args for it. I just want it to be a subcommand. In fact, I don't need this. So just in the dispatch, list subcommands. I need to be consistent with my name. Subcommands, does that have an underscore? I'm gonna say not. I don't know, subcommand. Is that a word? Yes, it is. No underscore. Command. List subcommands. Let's make that a function list subcommands. It doesn't need any arguments. Lambda syntax in Python. No, it's not a lambda. It's a tuple. Yeah? So it's the name of a function. What does it do with it? Commands. So the first one is the function that it should call. And the next one is Yeah, so I'm confused. Command args. So dispatch already has the subcommand. If command in commands. It does args. Commands command. CLI args, which I'm guessing is already parsed, right? This is code I wrote a year ago at least. Dispatch. Or is it? It's called here with the args, the actual command line arguments. So dispatch actually does the parsing. So I probably could have used a variable to specify. So here it does commands, command 1. So it gets the part. Okay, so this is the parsing function. And then the second one is actually calling it with the result of the parsing. So we don't really want to parse anything. Tempted to give it a dummy function just to make it generic. Just, is there a dummy function? Something that always returns none. Python always. Always function. I really doubt it, and I'm not going to import it just for that. Just make it a lambda. Lambda? None. Yeah, there we go. So the parsing function, we don't parse anything with this. Subcommands. Platform? I think that's what it was called. List platforms, yes. Alright, and we don't care what the result is. So we need to make these functions, and they take none as an argument, I guess. I don't know if that would be an error if I made it a nullary function. I'm just going to put it here at the top. Def command. No. Yeah, let's call it command. Oops. Command. Not quite there. Command list subcommands. Alright, all this work. Python's great. All this work just to list out list a list of words. Print out a list of words. And that's all we want to do. We just want to print, I think. Print subcommands. If I just use an underscore there. Ignored. Well, let's see if that is a parsing error. It's not a parsing error, so I'm going to try installing it and see what happens. Make install. CppDock list subcommands. Right. Global name command list platforms is not. Oh. So I'm giving it the name of a function, but that I didn't define. And we'll just make that do this. Fix me. Alright, takes no arguments. Huh. Lambda. takes no arguments. Why is that? What line is that? 145. People think C++ error messages are hard to read. I think Python is just the worst. Buck 45. So it's calling. Does it need to be a lambda that takes nothing? How do you make a lambda in Python? Let's see. All right, so it's supposed to take an argument. So we just put a little name. Let's see if that works. All right, and it prints out an array because it's join. Let's print out a string. I thought there was a join. Arrays at a join function. It is an array. Yes. Object list has no attribute. And I could map Python concat array. Concat list. Now cat strings and list. Alright, join. Now wait. Add the space in front of join. Alright, oh, so you're using the join attribute of the Python string object. Like that. Python's hard. C++ is easy. So Python is actually hard. People think C++ is hard because you have to remember all these crazy things. It's no different with Python. But I use C++ a lot more than I use Python. List. Alright, so I don't want it to include the list subcommand stuff. Because that's just noise that the user's never going to use. So we need to filter that list. Oh man. Python filter list. Filter function iterable. Wow, it's a standalone function. Alright, so oops. Filter. I need to give it a function. I'd like to give it a lambda. So let's look up Python string starts with. Sure, this is just riveting stuff for people who already know Python. Dot starts with. I wonder if I could just give it a single character and call it good. Starts with str. Length string. I love that. What? What does that mean? What is string? Len string. What is the length of string here? Must be a typo. I guess it doesn't matter. It's the length of str here. They use str twice. It's just, I guess they just take it for granted. Try to do that all the time. Alright, so filter. Lambda. str. str starts with underscore. Wow, can you use the lambda on the same line? I don't know. I think you can. Because there's a comma there that terminates the expression, which that would be cool. Any C++ people that see this, it would be nice to have concise lambda that you just give it an expression which would be terminated by a comma. Of course, we wouldn't use the lambda keyword because we're too cool for that. I like the fat arrow. I almost expect a parser. No parser. That's like a first. Wow, but it still lists it in the subcommands here. But that's part of the parsing's default output. I wonder if there's a way to make it hidden. I'm not going to look at that right now. List. Of course, autocomplete doesn't work. Of course it doesn't. Wow. No, error, argument, command, invalid choice. How is that an invalid choice? Choose from. Just a sanity check here. List commands. Oh. List subcommands. Of course it's telling me. Oh wow. So that works, except that it's the inverse of what we're going for. Python, I don't know that you put... Does the bang go there, or is it just not? C++, you can do both. List subcommands. Oh, doesn't like that. Because that would be too easy. Alright, so it's not. Oh, this is just riveting stuff. This is a day in the life of Jason Rice. So that works the way we want it to. Now let's make the bash thing use it. The bash complete script right now uses this. And all we want to do is instead... You know, just to make it readable. Let's make it readable. CppDock list subcommands. Source. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Source. Alright. CppDock tab. Alright, so I really have no idea if that works or not. Wait, okay, so it works. But I'm tempted to think, just because of the insanity that I had before, let's just add a fake one. ASDF. Sudo make install source. And now for the test. Yeah, ASDF is there, so bam, bam, bam. Great. Alright, so So now there's no way to turn. So now we need to do listing the platform, and well, it's weird to see that video of me still doing my head back and forth. That was like 10 seconds ago. Next time I'm gonna do ultra low latency. I don't want to mess with that right now. Backspace, come on. That was weird. Alright. So get rid of the temporary sanity command. And then just to make a note, we want CppDock. We want to list the platforms for the build command, the dev command. And I think that's it. I think dev cluster takes one, but it doesn't really work yet, so I'm not going to bother with that. But really, we just need to make bash know when there's already something here. So this is for when we're looking at the very first argument. And if I recall correctly, I don't care about that anymore. There was an example of checking to see how many arguments there were total. And I want to say it was EQ, like dash EQ. It's not in this one. Yeah, here it is. So just to make this nice and big, just in case there's a little res. But here they do if comp C word. Not really sure what C word is. Dash EQ1. So that's some bash cleverness. Unless comp C word is a command itself. So they take comp C words. I don't know what comp C word is in this context. I don't know that it is a thing either. I think it's just an excerpt of a script. Well, so what they do, what they must be doing, I don't know that, maybe it's a, oh it is. Oh, is it? Yeah, okay, so it's a completion related internal bash variable. So comp C word, an index, oh it's an index into comp C words, or comp words, of the word containing the current cursor position. Huh. Alright, so I don't know what that bash dash EQ. I don't know what that syntax is. It's like saying equals. Yeah. What's the difference? Okay, equals is for string comparisons and dash EQ is for numeric ones. Great! That's exactly what, that's just intuitive. It's always fun to bash. Ouch. I'm wearing the headphones even though I'm not monitoring this, but for some reason it's like a security blanket because I don't like the sound of my own voice. Yeah, I tend to speak lower, I guess, when I can hear my own voice. I don't know. But I started out this way and we're going to finish it this way. Alright, so comp C word. It's funny, the manual doesn't seem to mention that. Nope. So you cannot rely on the manual here, so this Gen2 reference here is much better. Or it's more pertaining to writing the completion file itself, as opposed to this is actually the reference to the different utility commands. Right, so comp C word is an integer. And if, just to look at how they did it, comp C word is 1. I lost it. It's not in this one. Oh yeah, it's in the Stack Overflow answer. Just cut and paste it. So if comp C word equals 1, I'm guessing that means yeah, that means we're currently looking comp C word. Wow, that felt weird. Dash EQ is 1. Semicolon, then LF Alright, so I wanna add completion to the next command. I guess I'm gonna put that in the Python script because Bash is not fun. So do as much as we can in Python. EQ2, then file. What is it? FI. I knew it was the reverse of the command. Alright, so they're doing a case here. I'm just gonna leave it to Python. The Python script to figure out what the next thing it should be. So we're gonna do comp reply equals $ comp gen W. Alright, so now we actually have to figure out how to do this. So it's CppDock list. You know what? We're going to do list subcommands. I'm going to change the name. List complete. Let's just call it complete. That's nice and terse. So with no arguments, it's going to give us a list of the default subcommands. And then with this, we'll give it what are we going to give it? Comp words comp C word, which would actually just be 2 because we're doing that. Huh. The problem here is we don't really know that it's complete or not. Yeah, there's some stuff we'll have to do in the Python script to figure that out, and I don't think we're going to get to that today. So that's the end of that. That's the end of that. And eventually maybe we could actually just not have it, just have this as the default and not just for 2. And I could probably put this like that. Alright. I think that should be it. We could even possibly just make this one call to the Python script instead of 2 if cases. So let's go back to, let's go fix our, oops, CppDock Python script subcommands. Let's fix the word subcommands. All right. So I'm gonna get rid of list subcommands and just make it complete. So sometimes when you're doing abstractions, you want to have a couple of concrete implementations. We're kind of cutting to the chase. Command complete. That's what I hate about lining things up, is you always have to fix it when you make changes. And it's especially painful when you're updating a code base and you get merge conflicts that are nothing more than fixing indentation. As if fixing merge conflicts weren't hard enough already. It's not list complete. All right. So command complete. I'm tempted to say we want to look at, we want to parse all the args. So I want to say its args are just going to be the list of args. So I just want all of them. So it's always going to be the argument. So 0 would be, argv0 is, it would be the CppDock itself. I can get rid of this one. So I'm tempted to just roll with this. So right now it'll always print out the subcommands. Sudo make install. Oh, we're approaching 2 hours. It's a good thing I don't charge by the hour, right? It helps when I do stuff that I know when I've done it before. Python and Bash, especially Bash. It can be a bit of a drag. Alright, what was it doing? Sudo make install, source, CppDock, complete. You know, if I think people are watching me, I actually stay on task quite much better. Just now when I was like, oh, what do I do next? I probably would have watched a video or something. I don't know. Or I would have checked my email. CppDock complete. Okay, back to the task at hand. Source. Alright, let's try it. Oh man. Comp C word command not found. It thinks it's a command. Alright, so that's just an error in the bash script. Comp C word, because I forgot, and it highlighted it for me and everything. Alright, source. CppDock. Oops. Same problem. Right. Didn't highlight it that way for me that time, though. Is there anything else? Alright, let's try this again. Source. Oops. CppDock tab. Command not found. CppDock. Now it's actually trying to execute. Command CppDock 1. Kinda wanna know why. Alright, just For sanity purposes, let's try this. It's coming out all over code. Oh, I'm having some trouble here. Alright. Comment all the code. Do you think I'd be good at that? And I use Vim all the time. Just so you guys know, I use Vim. And it's still, I don't know, sometimes difficult. Alright, source our script again. CppDock. I'm just having trouble remembering what I'm supposed to do next. Right, that works. That works. So where's this one coming from? Saying that C words. Oh. Comp C word. How did they do it? Comp C word EQ1. It's not comp C word EQ2. What's going on here? Does it have something to do? What are those dashes they're using at the end? Is that the problem? Dash. Source. CppDock. Command not found. What is the command? 1. Where is it getting 1? I'm gonna just comment that out. By itself, it seemed to work. It did work. Source. I'm actually getting cold here. That's weird because it's like 100 degrees. What is the temperature outside? 84. Oh, 98. I wish it was 84. We're quickly arriving at summertime here in Vegas. And actually, I'm in Henderson, Nevada, where it's still hot but not as depressing. Let's see. Can I reply? I have my cat looking out the window. I should get like a cat cam. Eventually, I'd like to improve the production of this whole thing, including this time we improved actually having the mic on both channels. So maybe you can hear me. Let's see, why is 1? Why is 1 a command being executed as a command? The way they do it in here, oh, look at that. They're using square brackets. Oh, somebody's talking. Wow, I did not see that. Not is generally considered more Pythonic, I think. Right. Yeah. So, I use not in some C++ code. And different projects that I do, I try different styles. I'm not opinionated. Sometimes I use 2 spaces, sometimes I use 4 spaces. I don't use tabs anymore because tabs have problems. But I use not, and I also use preceding commas instead of commas at the end of the line with some functional programming. And let's just say they could not make heads or tails of it, and they definitely did not like the not. They thought people typically in C++ use preceding commas for initialization or in constructors when you're initializing members. So that's what they thought it was. When they realized it was a function, that they were upset. I don't know, I wouldn't use the word upset, but they did not like it. So some people are very opinionated about the styles. But when you say that Python not is more Pythonic, it didn't even like the bang, so I don't even know what the alternative would be. Let's see here. So we're using the square brackets on our if statement. If anybody knows Bash, feel free to chime in. But I was looking right at it and I didn't notice the difference. Syntax error near expanded phi. Maybe because, I don't know. I don't see the difference. They have those double semicolons after each case. And then ESAC, which I totally know what that means. That's the end of the case. But in this case, it's probably because I commented this out. It was just because I was trying to figure out what the problem was. CppDock tab. Once again. Because CompC words is not. Is that right? CompC words? That's not even a variable. Nope, it's CompC word. CompC word is the index for comp words. So once again, back. I should have copy pasted this. Back to this. CompC word EQ1. We're gonna spend an hour just figuring that out. CompC word EQ1. Does it matter that there's a space there? I really hope that's not the case. But it wouldn't surprise me the way Bash is with spaces sometimes. I know with the assignment that was a problem. CppDock tab. That works. It is the spaces. Wow. Yeah, when you're looking at Bash, spaces matter. A lot. I'm not entirely sure why they do that. I'm sure there's got to be a reason. It's been almost 2 hours. And I've gone through 2 glasses of water. I guess that's just the way it is when you sit and talk. I'm not used to that. Except when I talk to my cat. Her breath smells like cat food. Alright, try it again. CppDock. Alright. That looks like that works. So now we're back to where we were an hour ago. But at least we have one Python function that prints out what we expect the next thing to be. And in fact, we can actually get rid of this. Yeah, so I spent all that time trying to figure that out. At least now we know. Spaces matter in those brackets. I'm going to make Python rely on that stuff. Because even though I don't know Python that well, it's still a lot easier than Bash. So the command complete, we're going to go if args, what is it, len? If len.args is greater than 1. It's always going to be at least 1. If it's greater than 1, then we'll say equals 1. We just print out all the subcommands. Else, let's just print some static stuff. Print Foobar Bez. Alright. So sudo make install. So I'm just gonna source that again just to be sure. CppDock. Yep, it doesn't like that. Oh, because there's a parse error. Else. I said my Python was better than my bash. I didn't say it was good. My hands. My hands hurt from playing Minecraft. Although I didn't play it last night. My kids like it when I play Minecraft. CppDocs tab. Still doesn't like it. Oh, that's because I didn't. Huh. Where am I doing else with? Oops. Ah. Did not mean to close that. Alright, CppDock tab. Huh, alright. So, source. I'll have to add this to my bash RC. And hopefully it doesn't get unloaded every time my keyboard gets unplugged. Which I doubt that's the case. It's just the keyboard maps problems. If there was a way to set it globally, that would be awesome. So source, CppDock. Alright, CppDock tab. And still finding that. Alright, I wrote it. Written. Tab. Oh, what's going on? Alright. Sudo make install. Alright. CppDock. Great. Well, that's wrong. I wonder if I could print a std error so that it prints it out but doesn't use it as the input to the bash stuff, just so I could see what it thinks the args are. Well, I guess I could just run the function complete. Foobar Bez. Print args. Will it print an array? Let's run the local one so I don't have to keep installing it. Obviously I can't autocomplete complete. So, oh yeah. So what is the length of args? Oh, it's 2. Right. Oh, I feel stupid. If it's 2. Well. Alright, no, it should be 1. Man. Because you wouldn't see _complete there. Although it might be 2 because... No, it will be 2 because complete will be there because that's the way we're calling it in the bash script. I'm just going to document that. CppDock complete args contains the complete command. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Alright, so, yeah. No, it's not going to be a problem. EG. Like that. So it should be 2. So let's try it out. Alright. Now let's just add something. If it's not 2, this gives us foo, bar, and bass, which is what we want. I kind of want to say if its length is equal to 3. But really, there's going to be more complex conditions that we want to check to see when we're expecting a subcommand or a platform. But right now, let's just make it work with the bash script. So sudo make install. Oops. And I'm just going to run source just to be safe. CppDock. Alright. Dev. Alright, good. That's weird. But that's magical the way that that works. But let's just say space dev. Oh, it's not magical. There's a problem. Let's see. I need to either take a break or just wrap this up for tomorrow or something. It's good to take breaks, kids. Especially when you get older, you'll realize the importance of it. Your body will thank you. Your mind as well. And that's when all the good ideas come. And you know, obviously it's good to take a step away. And when you come back, you see things you didn't see before. When I say kids, I'm kidding. It's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna refer to everybody as kids. But I'm not that old myself. So what's going on here? CppDock complete. And I never gave it anything. Right. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That was just my flailing about trying to make things work. CppDock. Dev. Space. Now we should get foobar bass. Now! Alright, let's try to make I'm already always looking at 1, so I need to look at comp C word. So it looks at it's completing now. Comp C words. I want to give it all of comp C words, I think. Source. CppDock. Tab. Nothing. What is comp C words? Echo. Comp words. Comp, not C words. 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 CppDock. Nothing. Comp words. Alright, so I just screwed this up. I have to pass comp words to the Python script. And then here, I don't think I passed anything. Why was I ever passing anything here? Because it has to do the partial completion. Comp words, comp C word. And I'm hoping that incomplete stuff isn't processed by CppDock complete. But maybe I'll just always have it do the subcommand. Alright, so source CppDock complete. CppDock. Bad substitution. Oops. No, it really doesn't like that. It's always doing the bar baz foo. That is completely backwards. Oh, it alphabetizes it. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. CppDock complete. CppDock. Let's try something. Nothing. So it's always giving me the second one. Even if comp C words is empty. Or comp words. Because it might be empty. Yeah, there's going to be some serious logic inside that completion function in the Python script, which is what we want because, or we want it in the Python script because bash, logic in bash is just not fun. CppDock. So we're going to just print it out, see what it is. Yeah, you know what? I want to print it out in Python. Python output to std_error. Print. File std_error. No idea what CppDock is. Alright, so file std_error. So we're just going to do some printf debugging, or just print debugging. Print. Print. Args. File equals sys std_error. For sure I already have sys included. Still it. CppDock. And it gives me a line number. Oh, invalid syntax. Why is that? File std_error. That's Pythonic, isn't it? Is it not like the word file? Print. Args, file, sys std_error. This is Python, right? Python. Print file equals sys std_error. Why am at a loss here? Syntax error, invalid syntax. That's very surprising, that asterisk args thing. What does that mean? I think that it's like unpacking a list. It's like unpacking a list or something like that. Pack expansion. Python print function. Takes an object. And then named parameters. Huh. Well, there's them using a named parameter. But after 2... Oh, bear with me, people. My Python is not good. Oh, how are you? Oh, it prints it out. Look at that. What happens when we do this? Doesn't let you edit it? Must think I'm in mobile mode or something. Huh. It's not interactive. Why would I want to try it myself? Oh, look at that. Sys stdr right. Being Pythonic is a third thought to me over readability. Well, isn't that the point of being Pythonic, I guess? I don't know. Alright, so let's just do that. Sys. Right now, it's not even about readability, it's about writeability. Maybe it didn't like that I was giving args. CppDock complete. Foo. 2 view arguments. Expect a string or other character buffer object. Right, so we need to turn this args into a string. And to do that, as we learned earlier, you create a temporary string and you call the join member function on it. Oh, that's just crazy. Alright. Where's the foo-foo coming from? Oh, it's just prints foobar baz after the fact. Huh. Can we add a return line after that? There we go. So hopefully that doesn't get included in the input to the bash script, so I can find out what's going on. Invalid syntax. Oh, right, I got a sudo make install. Alright, so I need another return line in there. For my sanity's sake. In fact, let's just add some output that specifies that it's args. Doesn't like that one bit. Ah! Plus, it's a monoid. Alright, CppDock. Alright, so the input args are the script itself. underscore complete, and then once again CppDock. Why is that? That is completely. Is it just printing out CppDock again? No, it can't be. That must be in the bash script that's doing that. And after 2 hours and 2 glasses of water, I might have to either take a break or quit for the day, or at least for now. All right. I don't see where it's coming up with CppDock as an argument. Let's just echo what it thinks it's outputting. So we're going to printf the bug in the bash script as well. Source just to make sure everything's up to date. Well, now it prints args. Oh, okay, because it's running it twice. It echoes it out, and then it actually does the completion. So it outputs foobar baz. Yeah, I didn't want to output the actual call to the command itself. I wanted to output the call that the command that I'm calling. It's just nuts. No, it's not CppDock. All right, so wow, I usually like how bash echoes it on a new line, but I guess it's not doing that. CppDock complete CppDock. Ah, wow, maybe so I could make the bash script like truncate the first element. That is surprising. Why is it CppDock? But I think in the Python script I will just make it assume that the CppDock will always be there. Should we do that? Does that make sense? It's calling complete. And it gives it all the C words after that, so it's like nesting. So we have the command user local bin CppDock calls underscore complete with all the input C words, the first of which being CppDock itself. So it's like you could think of it as like chaining, like a monad. It's crazy. When I think about it like that, it's not as confusing, I guess. I don't know. That's the one thing that like the category theory of functional programming does is it helps you think of things, certain things that would be confusing if you didn't have a way to model it. All right, so now that we have the S3, let's just try that. It's still printing out args. Oh, and when I hit tab, it actually did something that time. But the first time it did not. which is weird. I'm gonna get rid of the printf output here. Oops. Still printing something somewhere. Or is it like recursion in itself? So the first time it's 2, the next time it's 3. Maybe that's the problem. Alright. Well, alright, so I have to go. Not for any other pressing matter than I drank 2 full glasses of water over the last 2 hours. But I think I'll do this again tomorrow. And I think the only thing that we'll be going for is that we'll have the subcommands auto-completing, and then after certain subcommands, build and dev specifically, it'll auto-complete the names of the platforms which is specified in the JSON file. And it's easy to complete, but it's also a good way of just listing your commands. So tune in tomorrow for the epic conclusion to fiddling with bash completion and adding bash completion to CppDock. Thanks for watching, and see you later. And yeah, I should switch over here when I'm doing my conclusion. All right.